DIY.
DIYers, I come in here with no excuses today. We're getting straight to these Drake stories, and I've been waiting. I have been waiting, you OV-hoers. I have been waiting as more and more news pops up. I've tried to make a habit of not reacting to everything, but it's so much. In this week of beige raging, that's what I call it. I have a project called Beige. But in this week of beige raging, which I feel like I'm a professional to speak on, Drake is going off the rails. But it's not just Drake. It's Lil Yachty. It's DJ Akademiks. And it doesn't seem that they're as unbothered as what they wanted you and I to believe, but we didn't believe that, now did we? With that said, I want to draw your attention. Some of this might be out of order. I don't know, but I've been collecting these stories like goddamn Pokemon because it's just so much. It's so much. Pre-warning, there will be duck lips involved in here. Selfies in the mirror. I tried to help you out. I tried to warn you.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
Did you say light skin gotta catch them all? That's crazy. Let's watch this video real quick that confirms that Drake, on his Finsta account, I said that correctly. He has a Finsta account, which Gen Zers would tell you is a fake Instagram account. Why this man has a Finsta account? Hey, that's none of my business. I'm only here for the hip hop news. It's a little weird, ain't it? Huh? Let's see what he's putting on this Finsta account to start off this beige rage session and analysis.
Welcome back to Marcus at Work Media. So your boy Drake has not learned his lesson, apparently. He's been throwing out subliminals that it could be a round two. Why would you do that, dude? What the fuck are you doing out here, man? So as of recently, he threw a couple subliminals out there about Kendrick Lamar on a No Face song, one of his mini leaks. And then on top of that, he's been posting on that Ghost account that he dropped 100 gigs on about a possible round two.
Did Drake just say that he's going to institute round two of the beef with Kendrick Lamar?
Why? Okay, now, OVOers, let's have an intervention right now. If he's asking for a round two, does that officially mean that your analysis of the battle that he won, he doesn't even believe?
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
Who wins and says, fucking, I won so good, I want a round two? Something don't add up here, do it? Definitely don't for me.
That's what some folks are saying after he subliminally posted to his burner account, the one that he's been posting 100 gigs on, this.
Put it in the front page, back page, middle page, wherever, headliners.
For context, this NBA player, former NBA player, Rasheed Wallace, this is him talking during the press, this is him talking to the press about after a game, what's going to happen. All we need is that second chance. So what you're hearing is Rasheed Wallace, and he used the clip on his grown man Finsta account. I said that right.
Column 1 or 2, we will win game 2.
You're not backing off?
We will win game 2.
Now there's several ways to look at this. One, and probably most obvious, is that this is the second round of songs that he's put out. So he's had 2 in several of the posts on the stories for this page. Second, that he is actually saying we're coming back for round 2 and we will round 2, which then leads me to the third thing. Is he admitting that he lost the first round?
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
That's a Harlem Shake right there. What the hell? What the hell? Is he admitting that he lost? Now, this could be anything, but my question, and it's been a very consistent question for those of you who've been following any videos I've done on this whole back and forth between Drake and Kendrick. If it's not that, why even allow it to be interpreted as that? Why not put an address on it? Why not give us the specifics about what exactly this is? I know that you're still trying to do the mysterious thing, but I think some people just wish you would mysteriously disappear for a second. Respectfully. What are we doing? This one's going to get them talking. Watch. When I post this on my Finsta, oh man, they're going to be talking. They're going to think I'm ready to, I don't really want to battle them, but they're going to think it. The fuck?
Because if he's admitting he's lost the first round, a lot of y'all that have been wild in my comments since May, since before the summer started,
you too,
are the main ones who are going to have to sit back and recognize that your guy, Aubrey Drake Graham, Drizzy Drake Rogers, is admitting that he didn't beat Kendrick in round 1.
Not
Bruh.
the whole government.
So as a fan, are you to believe that Drake is stupid enough to do this again? Now, I know all the Drake stands is like, hey, go at it. He never won in the first place. Go get him, Drake. And then the K-Dot fans is like, it's like
The level of delusion as a fan that you got to be to say, he didn't beat you the first time, Drake. Do it again. Huh? This man, Kendrick, probably been somewhere on an island having some ayahuasca drinks, shakes, you know what I mean? Like meditating. He ain't been on the internet since. He ain't worried about this. Meanwhile, everything, when it all falls down, I'm telling you now, over yours falling down. Meanwhile, all of this shit's going on, the chaos, and it's nobody's doing except their own.
abuse at this point to continue. But if he's still calling Kendrick out, K-Dot, mop the floor with him again.
I don't know if it's just going to be a Lucy. Maybe it's that track that was on the beginning of the Not Like Us video. But I was told Kendrick is coming.
For those that partake in Ayo, this will be your cue. Ayo! How do you know what Kendrick is doing anything of, especially with how biased? I'm going to get back to that for the record.
And seeming like he lost and he wasn't a part of all of that was bullshit. It was just some shit that people made up, tried to make a real thing, tried to throw into the game.
It worked.
It did not work.
Why did Drake, who has dominated the last 15 years of my life, have to remind us? Because that record worked.
No, I'm telling you, it's because people were caught up in a moment.
This beef is breaking up families, man.
Somebody gonna have to tell the
Drake,
truth.
just leave. Just leave, man. Just leave. Me and my friends are fighting because of this. Breaking up happy homes. Just leave, Drake. Just leave, man.
They were caught in a moment.
Kendrick smoked it.
Yes, but when you say he lost, what did he lose? He didn't lose anything.
He's fine.
Music-wise, what did he lose?
The battle.
We'll win game 2.
I don't think that Drake is saying he wants to let's go back and forth with raps again. I think this is Drake's game 2 right here.
I want you to remember this quote right here. Matter of fact, maybe we should go ahead. I'm going to do this out of order. Akademiks is speaking with a whole lot of, I'm on the outside of this one, guys. I'm trying to figure it out myself. But I'll be honest, I didn't like the way he flexed on my boy DJ Head after all DJ Head did was retweet a story that reported that Kendrick Lamar was dropping an album soon. And obviously, if you've been following any of the interviews of DJ Head, he's been very close in speaking with Kendrick Lamar directly. So when he says something, it has a lot of value. Akademiks didn't like him saying that, and the way that he reacted was quite odd. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and go to that next. This was his reaction after somebody told him. Well, I guess there's another tweet also by DJ Head that said, Dot don't really talk to nobody, especially not Ak. Why would he talk to Ak? Why in the midst of all this bias? I'm admittedly biased. West Coast bias and all that other shit, right? I didn't work with TDE artists. I didn't work with Kendrick. But let's not lie about it. Listen to his response. To me, this is merely a reflection of the guy at the top. Oh, Drizzler himself. That's a crazy line, Curtis. Oh, well.
DJ Head saying Dot don't talk to nobody, especially Ak. I'll even quote tweet. I got a quote tweet on the phone. DJ Head, I'm the greatest single journalist you've ever heard of.
Keep a straight face. He's not done. Journalist?
I want to put that out there. And I'll tell any nigga this in the industry.
Just because you tell it to him don't mean it's true, but I'm going to let you cook, Ak.
I am. Nigga, I built a 20+ million industry by doing this shit.
Industries are not built by one person, first of all. Second of all, I wonder what industry he's talking about. It couldn't be the online journalism space because that existed even outside of hip hop. I think sometimes we're in such a bubble, and I think that when success hits us in a very monumental way, I've never experienced the level of DJ Akademiks success. Salute to that brother for doing what he's doing. But let's not lie and call what you do journalism. It's opinionated talk. It is live streaming. I don't even call what I do journalism. Matter of fact, I talk to my OGs, the Justin Hunts, the company mans, whenever I want to understand how to become a better journalist. Why? Because he went through the proper channels to become a journalist. Because he does actual journalism work that is not just getting and turning a 480p camera that look like you shooting with a flip phone. He's not just shooting that and going. It's not because he had opportunities to be on Complex. No. This is because he's done the actual work that a journalist does. So to say that you are the best simply because you make money is fucking mad to me. We don't care about your money. We don't care about your money. We don't care. There's a good chance that two things are true. That you are supremely successful by the millions in this space and that you don't know shit about journalism.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
Niggas think journalism is, I got people in the industry that really know what's going on, and then when I give y'all a scoop, that's journalism. Nigga, you're a TMZ employee of yourself.
I played Drake's video, and Drake had to ask me, how'd you get it? When I tell you something came from, or something I know when it comes to Kendrick or whatever, I don't give a fuck who Kendrick is.
Thank you. Somebody just said it right now. Thank you for clarifying that, Kira. Journalists have to have sources and not just one. So the same guy that we were just listening to on this guy here, you know this guy right here? Have you heard of him?
Raps again? I don't think that Drake is saying he wants to let's go back and forth with raps again.
What's your source? Your brain? What's your source? Who your source?
I don't give a fuck about none of these niggas. Akademiks is the greatest single journalist you've ever heard of. You could be fucking Kendrick if I.
Whoa, hey, yo, that's two in a row. Who are the best journalists of all time? Walter Cronkite. You know what? Let's make it even better. Who are the best black journalists of all time? Let's do black music journalists. Let's make it even more narrow, right? Let's Nelson George, Sheena Lester. Hold on, let me make sure the screen is so y'all can see the same thing that I'm seeing. He got me. He said I'm the single greatest journalist. D. Barnes, Cynthia Horner, Kate Ferguson, Gary Summers, Yvette Noel, sure, Stephen Ivory, Clarence Waldron, and all these folks, Yasmin Shirez, Jamie Foster Brown, Greg Tate. These are all people who have credentials that reach further than just goddamn YouTube. Boy, oh boy, we're living in that time where I saw somebody tweet this the other day. They said, man, I can't wait for 20 years from now when I got to remind y'all how great LeBron James was. And y'all try to convince me that he wasn't one of the greatest of all time. Because you know what's going to happen. Because of this kind of journalism. Air quotes. The fuck?
I said it, that's what it is. Let me be clear. I don't need to talk to the artists.
How can you do journalism work without talking to the artist, Act? Niggas make money and think they're bigger than the program. How can you be bigger than the very people that you're covering? And I'm going to put myself in this, I would not watch Akademiks if a genre like rap music did not exist. I don't give a F about the artist. This is what they think about you.
I don't need to talk to the artists. I don't need to talk to the artists.
Then how do you do great journalism work?
How much shit did I break about Young Miami? You think I ever talked to her? Nope. I told you Drake has hit me like, wait, what the fuck? How'd you know about it? You know about this?
You know, journalism is more than just knowing the scoop. All right, that's one style of journalism. That's merely one weapon that you have in your collection. Getting a scoop, cool. But let's keep it a whole thou wow. Come on, family. Like, journalism is about finding the perspectives on both ends. Journalism, like honorable journalism. And I'm not even a journalist, but I know that's about Let's get the perspective here. Let's let you speak unfiltered and get your point of view. Let's get this point of view. Okay, now that we gather this, here's what I'm going to have my editorial opinion in the middle of this. This is not fucking journalism. Let's stop it. You're great at what you do, but you're wearing a hat that is too big for you. And me. That's why I don't call myself no journalist.
Yachty called me. Wait, where'd you get this from? Nigga, I'm the greatest single journalist ever, nigga. You know why? All y'all niggas suck dick. Y'all sit there and be like, oh, the artist is cool with me. I'm glad when I don't talk to Drake. You know why? I'll go get the shit. I'm gonna talk to the label, the distributor. I'm gonna talk to the niggas who they pay to, hear this loud and clear. The niggas who they pay to do the rollouts and buy the shit. Yes, I talked to all of them.
So you're gonna talk to the people who would benefit lying to you about the artists that they're taking and stealing from.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
The fuck? Does that make any sense to you? Your sources are over the top of the artists. So you're going to say they're more valuable. You're going to talk to the people who would benefit from lying to you legally, lying to you in your face about the artists that they're potentially stealing from or abusing. What are we talking about right now?
So when I say some shit, I don't give a fuck about talking to Kendrick. If I leak a Jay-Z news, I don't gotta talk to Jay. Never have, never probably will, and don't care. But it will be accurate. What? So let me put...
I don't gotta talk to the source, but believe it's gonna be accurate.
That out there very clear. I never said I talked to Kendrick, and I don't need to. I have sources on all of these niggas.
But a journalist would want to.
That's a fact. I'll give you even one better. I won't say who. And matter of fact, let me become a little bit more vague.
That's that liquor talking, ain't it? I didn't watch this stream. This nigga drinking, ain't he? Ain't he? This that Hennessy make you say some shit. You know, I drink a little Uncle Nearest, the little Uncle Nearest whiskey. I feel a little, I might talk a little shit. It's a little wild, though.
You know, half the time I come up on this shit, the distributor done call me. The label done call me.
The label done called you? The distributor done called you?
I don't give a fuck about an artist. An artist is always trying to do a PR spin.
And labels are not?
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna...
Boy, I know this is a Drake story, but this is becoming quickly an academic story because they're unraveling all one at a time, and they're all related to each other. They're all unraveling.
You know who ain't trying to do the PR spin? The distributor. Who ain't trying to do this? You know who they pay to do the PR spin? The digital guys who all work with me. DJ Head, you go ask Kendrick. I know every... And by the way, if you could tweet this, I'll expose it next stream. I'll show you how much I don't give a fuck. You go ask Kendrick, hey, does Akademiks know all the digital dudes you work with and everything like that? Does he tap in with them every day? Have they spent millions of dollars together? You say yes or no, we'll have a great stream next time.
I'm glad that this is the year of truth because a lot of this shit ain't gonna last, man. This is not a mountain to die on. Everybody knows, especially as we dig more through these stories. And it's funny because it's not just Ak who's just a rogue friend of Drake that's acting like this. It's others. It's others that are really wilding the hell out. And Lil Yachty's another one. But before we get to that Lil Yachty portion, what's old Drakey Poo been up to these days, huh? Huh? I ain't pausing nothing. Old Drakey Poo. What you been up to, huh? Huh? You finally got some vacation time? You feeling refreshed? Round 2? Kind of crazy. What you been up to, bro? I'm gonna let Chig Smooth talk about this one.
YouTube. Chig.
Smooth. Hey, Chig. I just subscribed. Anybody out there thought Drizzy Drake was just going to lie down and take Joe Budden kicking his...
We gotta work on these intros.
Back in the entire summer? Well, I got news for you, buddy. Drake is petty and Drake will always be petty. I think it's a fair assessment to say that ever since Drake and Kendrick Lamar got into it, Joe has been a little bit biased against Drake. At one point, Joe even said, yo, I want to see Drake bleed. And even after the beef, Joe still continued with his anti-Drake rhetoric. All those songs Drake was dropping after the beef happened, Joe Budden would get on his podcast and shoot it down.
He went from nah, nah, nah to I'm going on vacation to I'm not replying no more. That was the fastest change of tone. Wait.
and then Joe, you forgot this part. Then he made a Finsta account.
You gonna make me have to wake the demon up. You know how many fucking sleeping pills I take in my life? What type of sleeping pills the demon taking? What the fuck is he on?
Now, obviously, this is all Joe's opinion, and he's entitled to having his own opinion about Drake and his music. But sometimes it kind of felt like Joe knew that Drake would actually hear his take and hear all the negative stuff he would say about him. Also, keep in mind, Joe was the one who kind of ignited the whole Drake grooming thing. Joe went on his podcast one day to allude that Drake should probably stop dating younger chicks. So if I've watched you kick me while I'm down the entire summer, best believe any and every time I get a chance to, I will clown you. Now,
remember how Drake reacted to that criticism that Joe Budden had of him dating younger women and really favoring hanging around the young streamers? Remember how, this is a crazy picture to pause on. Man, somebody change this shit. Another frame. Remember how he criticized Joe and he talked shit about his Best Buy microphones like that's a diss? Like where else are you supposed to get it from? Supposed to get your podcast equipment from Gucci? The fuck? He got angry and he talked about, how he's just a has-been and how I can't even pay attention to these has-been. He said all of this shit. And he acted in a certain way that felt very childish. Remember I said that when we get to these Lil Yachty stories and his issue with Caribou. Seems like somebody's behavior is being mirrored.
Best believe any and every time I get a chance to, I will clown you. Now, Drake has been getting a lot of heat from his duck lips mirror selfies. Last night, Drake decided to address it in his own special Drake way. He posted this mirror selfie saying, I'm not aware of my picture or my mirror face. It's a curse from birth and I'm influenced by what I see.
Is this what happens when you don't have people who hold you accountable? Is this what happens when everything you want, people say yes to? You know how fast my wife would have threw the phone across the room if I said, I'm not aware of my picture or my mirror face. It's a curse from birth and I'm influenced by what I see. She'd be like, get that bullshit off of Instagram.
Now, in the next slides, Drake went on to post a picture of Duke Dennis and Joe Budden at the beach. Which, I'm not even gonna lie, Joe, this is a wild-ass pose. But I will let you guys know, this is not the craziest Joe Budden picture. If you know, you know. Now,
why you got that picture in your phone, Drake? Why you got that picture in your phone? What was you waiting on? Just had that in the archives. How do you search this? Like, it's not AI. This is a real picture. How do you search for this? Where do you search for this?
Drake went on the caption to clown Joe with a fan. The fan says, 2-hand gun squad at the beach is nuts though. Drake responds saying, double gun finger dip down is zany. Drake then went on to clown Joe some more. He said he's headed back to the all-inclusive and about to order a martini shaken, not stirred, Casino Royale-ass pose in the Sean Marion shorts.
But you like wine spritzers.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
I mean, you can't really talk with somebody like that when you've admitted to loving wine spritzers because of some questionable and almost weird behavior that you came up around with your mama friends that you talked about. And, you know what I'm saying? You can't really talk about a man's drink choice when we know you like them wine spritzers. I feel like Dick Gregory.
Now, I gotta say this, man. Drake and Joe, you guys should just be friends at this point. It's obvious you guys love each other in your own special ways. Stop trying to portray to us that you guys don't like each other. For Drake to have this 20-year-plus old picture of Joe saved, ready to go in his phone, there's at least gotta be some kind of love there. Now, don't get it twisted. This is not the first time Drake has trolled Joe in public. While he was out on vacation and he heard Pump It Up, Drake made sure to let Joe Budden know about it.
Where else? Where else, Joey, would you have them going so crazy? They're going so nuts.
And also, while Joe Budden was hosting one of his famous pool parties back...
I'm not gonna lie, that was kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie. It was a rare but very tiny W for Drake.
in Jersey, best believe Drake was there on IG Live to hate on it. Now, I know some of you guys might disagree with this, but I don't want that first Drake interview to go to Ak. I think him and Joe would have a better chemistry, a better conversation.
No, his nigga gonna beige rage the whole time, and Joe don't give a damn. When I saw him do that interview with Akademiks and the Migos, I said, oh yeah, you're not gonna get them kind of interviews out of Joe. Not this situation. Hell no.
There's a lot of history there between these two guys. There's vlogs from when Joe was out in Toronto while Drake was still coming up. But for now, looks like Drake is finally off of defense and he's now on offense. If you guys notice now, Drake is just sitting back and picking off anybody that was against him during Kendrick's beef. Let me know what you guys think about this, man.
Oh boy, this man's beige raging, ladies and gentlemen. Well, he's not done. This was something that was kind of weird to me. You know, Duke Dennis just caught a stray. Drake trolling Duke Dennis, asking him, hold on, let me get this zoomed in a little bit more so you guys can see what I see. This is Duke Dennis actually responding back to him being a part of that 5-guy slide of selfies and duck faces. Drake trolling Duke Dennis is asking him how he took a mirror pic with someone else taking the pic and Duke stood on business. He just put LMAO in the comments. Then he said, Fendi head wrap, having someone else take the pic in the mirror is wild. You a wild boy, Duke. And he said, you got a few pictures that give off the same vibe. Oh, buddy. Oh, man. Let's look it up, huh? Let's look it up. Oh, he still got it up. Oh, my goodness. That's your 6 guy, huh? That's the guy. That's your man and you sticking by him, huh? What possesses a grown man to get on the line and just, this one's for Duke, this one's for Joey, this one, what the fuck? What the fuck is going on here? You, Drake, if you want to quit, just say you want to quit, man. Just, this not the way, man. You crashing and burning, man. You can get your friends, man. When your friends at, man. When your friends should be telling you, man, don't do this shit, man. By the way, Duke Dennis is 30 years old. What the hell are we doing?
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
Even when you're clowning, you're doing the thing that you're getting criticized for. Weird. Also, in other weird news, Drake decided to show you some more shit on his hard drive. I'm gonna let that simmer for a second. Here, Complex Music talks about it, and they said, I said what I said. I said what I said. He got a lot of shit on his hard drive. He just want to show you something. It's a weird case. Why is he around? Drake was offered the beat for Action Bronson's Acting Crazy and thought Kendrick Lamar would make a great feature. Drake said, for him, where he's at, I know he's going to murder this. OVO 40 said, when you told me, Kendrick, it just made so much sense. So this is a part of his 100 gigs for your head top collection of distraction that he put out. And he just keeps putting up new clips and keeping people hopefully distracted from all the other information and streamers that he's associated with. But here's the clip. Let's watch this 30-second clip. I'm not gonna lie, I thought that was Drake at first. All light-skinned niggas don't look alike, but this one, that was kind of close.
Crazy. I can't, and it's like
just enough every time.
For him, where he's at, that's like I know he's gonna murder that shit.
Drake talks different in the studio. You ever notice that? At least in these clips, he talked different in the studio than he talked in front of you. Let me present you a little bit of evidence, a little bit of journalism, Nak. Check me out.
Could make a bit of a statement where like we have our connects, we have that Janae song, but like it would be nice to have like 3 joints in that vein of like, oh god, like Drake, that wasn't just a fluke, you know what I mean? I want to like establish some, so if there could be like a base, like something dark underneath this shit, I think this shit reminds me of that like shit reminds me of like some that shouty.
Shout it out.
Could make a bit of a.
And you wonder why there's allegations of you being a colonizer going around. You sound here. Extra bright mayo today. Today, you added extra mayo on the tuna salad sandwich that already had tuna, on the whitest bread you could find on sourdough, but make it extra white and take off the brown pieces. I want just the white. when you sound like this and then you jump on records and you sound like Gunna or you sound like Young Thug, you got to understand why people are saying, what are you doing? This also, too, just disturbs me. A guy beats me, just abuses and tarnishes my reputation through a battle, which I believe this was when Kendrick did what he did, rightfully so. The last thing I'm finna do, you hear me? If I have a 100 gig website where I'm putting behind the scenes clips, it say, you know that guy that accused me of being a PDF? Here's some video of me believing in him. What the fuck are we doing?
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
Who is running this campaign? You're drunk. You're drunk behind the wheel. The last thing I'm going to do is show you, like, I don't know if this was like an olive branch. I don't know if this was like this is not even for the people. This is just for Kendrick directly. I just want him to see this. I don't even care. I just want Kendrick to see this, to see like it really goes deep. Hey, yo, our friendship really goes deep. Don't forget about the good days, Kendrick, okay? I don't know what kind of ayahuasca journey you're on right now, okay? Mr. Morale, if that's even your real name. But can we get back to these days when I had you in mind, when I was on top of the game? Remember this? Remember? Motherfucker never loved me. I don't get the logic on this, and I don't know what this is trying to win, but this only reminds me. I haven't heard Not Like Us today. Let me go back and listen to that. I don't know about you, but I'm like, you know what? Perfect day to listen to Meet the Grams. You know what? Great transition. My friend Ray here said, too many yes men. 40 probably told him to do this so he can laugh at him at night when he go to bed. That was good. Well, let's question not just that, but let's question somebody else who kind of just went out their way to show and defend their friend Drake and Lil Yachty. Lil Yachty has had a very, 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 very disturbing week, it seems. So, I mean, I'm not saying it like a little bit of smart ass, but it seems like he's been going through a lot of shit. I don't know if you've noticed any of this stuff going on, but he's been involved in a few different controversies and he cannot stop. It's like Drake. On this article on Wrap Up, the headline says Lil Yachty briefly unfollows Drake. Wait, what? On Instagram, and the fans have theories. Now, he followed him back, but this was after the news that Drake was going to release the Super Soak song, you know, the one that Mr. Hotspot said, look, man, I just want you guys to make a clean version. That's all I want. Make a clean version. I'll release the sample, and you guys can do it. I guess maybe there's an arrangement that happened, and Drake said, you know, Yachty, for all that defending you did of me, I'm going to take you off this song. I cleared the record myself, and I'm going to get Mr. Hotspot on this, and you're going to be out of here. I don't know if that's the reason he unfollowed, but this article goes on to say Lil Yachty is one of Drake's greatest collaborators, as evidenced by joint records like Oprah's Bank Account, Another Late Night, and Jumbotron Shit Poppin'. However, on Tuesday, August 20th, the Quality Control music artist put their relationship in the spotlight after he briefly unfollowed the Toronto native on Instagram. This is written by Malcolm Trapp. You know, that's what journalists do. They source their. Up until this point, both rappers have stayed silent on the situation. Their fans, on the other hand, haven't even held back, with some churning out theories that others are speculating there's no trouble at all. No way Yachty and Drake fell out. Their friendship was beautiful, one Twitter post wrote. Yachty and Drake are not beefing. You mother effers are weird and in 2D with this social media shit, man. Said another user. Elsewhere, someone theorized a hypothetical feud between the pair. I think it might be the most lopsided victory of all time, they said. There's your receipts. Not that you care, because we're grown in here, but yeah. While the true reason Lil Yachty unfollowed Drake is still up in the air, there is speculation it might be over his seemingly dropped verse from the yet-to-be-released Super Soak. Earlier in the week, DJ Akademiks unveiled a preview of the track and the video on Twitch, but the one-night hitmaker was conspicuously absent. It's unclear if Lil Yachty chose to sit the record out or if something else led to the removal, especially since it had already hit a snag with sample clearance. We talked about that with Mr. Hotspot. Hopefully, they can re-record the clean reference and come out with a clean, goodness gracious altogether is what Mr. Hotspot, the artist. You see how they called him an artist, Yachty? They know he's an artist. Maybe you... Crazy. Well, no, that's not it with Lil Yachty. Yeah, Lil Yachty, that's just where it started. I know he's not beige, but this nigga was beige raging for sure. Evidenced by this video here by Fantastic Hip Hop, why Lil Yachty is destroying everything he ever worked for. He is beefing not only, well, not allegedly, having issues with Drake for a moment. He's having issues with his co-host Mitch on his podcast, and he's also having issues with a former artist that was in his Concrete Boys group called Caribou. What's going on, man?
Right now, we are currently witnessing a meltdown from Lil Yachty that no matter whether you love or hate him, is gonna have major implications on not just the rest of his own career, but also considering the important role he plays in the creative direction of some of the biggest rappers in the world like Drake, and the entirety of hip-hop, because when we look at everything Yachty exposed and told us about some people who he is—
Coco Crash Out is insane, RMS. Hey, there are kids here. I want them repeating that.
Is livid with, not just through his IG Live and his social media pages, but also with the rest of his recent controversies. We can see that Yachty right now is fed up with what seems like every single person around him. And now with Yachty having so many different issues with people at the moment, that range from his rap group and label, to his podcast, all the way to even some of his closest personal friendships in the industry like Drake, all boiling up at once.
And may I remind you that Kendrick is somewhere watching cartoons and cereal or eating popcorn like Michael Jackson in that movie theater. May I remind you, he ain't said nothing else. He dropped that video and went right back to his normal blue collar life.
His charged up rant he just had is about to push him out of all of the industry circles he's in, because Yachty's actions in this moment are not just one-off comments that can be overlooked or even forgiven. But everything he said is the type of stuff that burns bridges that will never be able to be built again. Because Yachty did not hold back when it came to exposing the truth in his eyes about some of the narratives going on around him and his name that were being spread by former Concrete Boys artist Caribou, who just left the group recently, and also the co-host of his Safe Place podcast, Mitch. And now first off with Caribou. As it came out that Caribou was telling people that Yachty bullied her, Yachty quickly came out and said that he was going to be going on live to talk about this, and when he actually did this, I don't think we've ever seen Yachty more livid about anything.
Did you catch the irony in this? This is I don't know Drake. I don't know him. All I know is what I see just like everybody else. But this is kind of like a Drake-like decision. Right? This is weird. Caribou, a female artist in an already male-dominated space, says, "I feel like I was bullied by Lil Yachty." Explaining her exit. He then gets online with no fucking self-awareness and says, "I'm going to get on live stream and clear the air." So you're going to use your social media to boo her you're going to use your social media to bully her narrative. Is that what we're— I mean, everybody has the right to defend themselves, especially if there are things being said that are not true. But there's a way to handle it if you're not a bully. And this doesn't seem to be the way that a person that's not a bully would handle it. I don't know.
He went on to rant about this entire situation and said so much about Caribou, and now instead of trying to sum it all up because Yachty said a lot, here are a few clips.
I'm gonna start with Kara, right? Go ahead, tell people how you verbally abuse people, alright? Don't get on here and make it seem like kicked you out. Like kicked you out cause bullying you? Bro, go ahead, tell people how you talk to people. How you tell my security guard, "Oh, you homeless, oh, you work for me, oh, you ain't got no—"
Why is this being done publicly? Why is this being done publicly? Why is this being done publicly? By the boss, the head of the label. Why is this being done publicly? I know he wants to clear his name, but that's something— this manner is the way that somebody who's an employee would do it. Somebody who has no strength, no legal prowess, no reach would handle it. This is odd.
You're poor and we above you, and how you talk to people like they nothing. Stop the front, bro. Internally, we have withheld your actions since the beginning of me giving you this career.
Giving you this career. I don't know these individuals enough to diagnose them. I'm not a doctor or psychologist that can tell you narcissistic behavior, but I do know narcissistic language because in this business, you meet a lot of them. But when I hear, I gave you a career, as if she contributed nothing to it. Now, he goes on to accuse her and say that I wrote everything. Well, she had to do something. There's a reason he signed her, because there's a benefit. There's something that she can do that he can't do. But this doesn't seem like the kind of behavior that someone would have if they're not bullying somebody. I just wish this nigga would blow his nose. That's what's bothering me the most here.
What are we talking about, bro? What the what are we even talking about, bro? You don't even do nothing. I've given you a career, and time to time you just disrespect me. I wrote every verse you've done. I dressed you. I dressed all 5 of y'all, bro.
You dressed her. I gave you a career. I'm your father. I'm your dad is what I get from this. You don't deserve the right to express any grievances. I made you.
Bro, you ain't made no money, bro. See, this is the problem with you new artists. You $900,000 in the hole, and I got every receipt. $900,000 concrete in the hole.
This does not sound like a boss. He's talking about being $900,000 in the hole, which is terrible for anybody who does business. But you're a fucking businessman. You're a businessman. That's the cost of doing business. Risk is involved. What part of this is new? I shouldn't be telling him this. He's the multimillionaire. I'm not the multimillionaire, but I conduct business. That's part of the business. You're going to take chances. People are going to suck at their job. Some people are going to not do the things that they promised. You're going to lose money. But why are you talking to 26,000 people, telling these people, she did this to me, and then she did this, and she said this, and she called my security homeless, and that's not nasally. She'll talk everybody. She's a lawyer. She's a lawyer. Why are you telling 26,000 people your financial woes? Unless you're trying to bully somebody's narrative. I don't like bullies. I understand what Kendrick was saying. I don't like bullies.
Oh.
So now with Yachty saying all of this, which as you can see from him calling her out for being a horrible person who doesn't respect others, to then saying that he wrote every single one of her verses, which while is a crazy claim and means Yachty was writing stuff like this, he did already back this up.
Wait, I need that line. What was it? What is he writing?
Crazy claim and means Yachty was writing stuff like this.
Told him we can go and tape it. I'm shameless. He went lower with his tongue, all in my ain't. Oh!
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
Do the Yachty voice. Told him we could go and tape it. I'm shameless. He went lower with his tongue, all in my anus. Hey, you nasty. Hey, you know what you get. You know what the hell you get.
Freaky ass nigga, he a 69 God. Freaky ass nigga, he a 69 God. Hey, run for your life. Hey, run for your life.
Birds of a feather hump together. That's crazy. What possessed you to write that? What you got to be thinking about to write that? How can I make this even more freaky? What rhymes with anus? That's a crazy place to be in as a writer. What rhymes with anus? Shameless. Famous. Same shit. Famous. Don Amos. Whoa.
He did already back this up by leaking his own reference track from her On the Radar freestyle, which was considered to be Caribou's breakout moment. So if Yachty wrote this, and we also know that he has written for other female rappers like the City Girls and their hit song Act Up, and we also know he ghostwrites for Drake all the time, we can assume that he was probably writing most of her other material, and this is why she has not released any music since splitting with him, and now even crazier than exposing himself to be her ghostwriter. Yachty called her out for pretty much being a failure of an artist who makes no money off her actual music.
So that's not bullying at all. Disclosing your business and disclosing her business. How would you handle this, Curtis? If I'm in this position, I can't tell of all the stress he may be feeling at the moment. Maybe this is something he'll look back on years from now. I hope it is and say I could have handled that better. If I'm in that situation, We're not trying to win public opinion. Get your lawyer on the phone. Get a cease and desist. If these are untrue, this is someone who is slandering your name. It's libel involved. Okay? If it's something that is hindering your brand, your trademark, there are things that you can do legally to fight that. But going into the court of public opinion just puts you in a place where you just gonna say something that's gonna come back to bite you. Something that's going to weaken your case. What I do, I handle it out offline because none of these people. Matter of fact, the people that support me gonna support me. The people on the fence was already on the fence. I'm not worried about that. We'll get to a public situation, but let's take care of the legal. First of all, I'm reaching out to her to see what the real issue is, right? How can I'm in debt from this situation. How can we figure out something with you and your new team? If that's not on, because she's pissed off, cool. Then you handle it legally first. And then you tell everybody the truth will come out when it comes out. But I'm back to doing business. Not crying to 26,000 people about the money. You are a businessman. We all lose money. That's part of the business.
And making this even crazier, he talks about how she owes him $900,000, which is just insane. And as Yachty was on this rant, he also seemingly
Hold on, happy birthday, Fly Science. Happy birthday! You joining your birthday with me? Oh, shit. Happy birthday! Fly Science, happy birthday, sis. Happy birthday!
Out the rest of the Concrete Boys group, as he talked about how he dresses all of the group all of the time and gives them their sense of style. Which from all this, we can see that Yachty is so mad about this entire situation that he is now making the rest of his own label and
my bad, it's not her birthday. But when your birthday is, happy birthday!
Group look just as bad. And I'd imagine with Yachty blasting this about them on live and pretty much making them sound like they're his pawns, they must be mad at him now on some level, but now also with this rant. Yachty, of course, also called out who we all thought was his best friend in Madman Mitch, and as with him and his Safe Place podcast, when Yachty and Mitch interviewed Key Glock, and a clip from this interview of Yachty telling Mitch that if he wasn't friends with him, he would be nothing went viral.
I read something in a book one time, and this is in relation to this part right here where, once again, he tells another human being that you wouldn't be shit without me. It said every bad relationship you've ever had, there's one thing in common. And it told you to go look in the mirror. They said, yeah, you're the common denominator of all your bad relationships.
Somebody's gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
I think that's an important lesson that a little Yachty can learn from this. It could be that you're around a bunch of people who are either mirroring your own selfish ways. It could be that you have accumulated so much money that it attracts people who are very, eager to take advantage of you. Or could it be that you have some developing to do yourself as a man, as a leader, right? Being a businessman does not immediately prepare you to be a leader. You have to learn how to be a leader in the process of doing business. I myself, admittedly so, have made mistakes as a leader of my own business. But when you're able to correct those, you realize there's a certain code, there's a certain demeanor. Forget your bravado, forget your rap bravado, forget all that shit. There's a certain demeanor and code you must abide by so that you can make sure that your business is secure for another day. But when you're looking around and everybody around you, every time that somebody says something you don't like about you, your first thing to go to is that they would be nothing without me. Not saying you're a narcissist, but I'm saying it smells like narcissism in this motherfucker.
As it was going around on social media and Yachty was getting more hate as people were saying that he is a horrible person. Because Mitch did not come out on social media to issue a statement to defend Yachty, despite him being very out of line for the things he said. This also caused Yachty to explode on Mitch and pretty much doubled down on his comments that he said in the interview.
You didn't defend me? I'm gonna go off on you. I thought friendships was like in real life. I didn't know. I've had high maintenance friendships in the form of men, which to this day, I cannot do high maintenance friendships with other grown men because I'm going to piss them off at some point. I have a wife and a son. The fuck do you mean, are we still cool because I haven't talked to you in a month? My best, I know it's crazy to be 39 and be like, I got best friends. My best friends, my bestest friends in the whole world are the people I don't have to explain my absence to. They're the ones that check on me and say, I just wanted to see you were good. I don't need them to jump online every time somebody says something crazy about Curtis King for me to know we're good, because we're good in real life. But when you're building surface level relationships, as I'm assuming is going here, this is what happens. So now every single person you're attached to, from Drake that you unfollow for whatever reason, Caribou to now Mitch, dog, the one person in common amongst all this shit is you. Might not want to hear that because I know you too rich. I know what niggas got that money. You can't tell them shit. Niggas, we balling. We can't tell me. You can't tell them nothing. But you're the one person, you're the one thing that all of this shit has in common, my boy.
As he pretty much called Mitch talentless again, and then revealed that Mitch begged Yachty to help him find a way to become successful, and this was the only reason why he even started a Safe Place podcast.
Why does the public not need to know this? That is bullying tactics. I don't care what anybody says. That feels like bullying tactics, allegedly. Bullying tactics in front of us. It's not enough for you to be angry at them or disappointed. You want to destroy them in any opportunities they have. You know, by telling that young lady, Caribou, hey, I wrote all your shit, I dress you, you know it's going to be difficult for her to go get another deal. You know, by saying Mitch is talentless and that he wouldn't be anything without my cosign, even if it's true, ensures that he's going to have a difficult uphill battle to get other opportunities outside of your universe. That smells like narcissism. But I don't blame you. Your OG Drake displays the same kind of characteristics.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
We cooking today.
Podcast in the first place, and what Yachty said here was even more hurtful than what he said to Caribou, because with the person he was targeting here, they're supposed to be one of his lifelong friends. He pretty much revealed that he hates doing the podcast and talking to other rappers, and only ever did this as a courtesy to Mitch. And as Yachty went into specifics and revealed that he helped Mitch make $400,000 for pretty much doing nothing in his own words, and so because of all this, Yachty is so fed up with the way he's treated that he is canceling the podcast from here on out. With all of this, which all transpired in about 10 minutes on IG Live. While Yachty may not be wrong about the fact that he is the secret ingredient and X factor to a lot of people's careers and success, which is something even Drake has praised him for in the music world. This situation is just strange, and he is getting a lot of hate for his comments right now because with both everything he says charged towards Caribou and Mitch, he kind of invalidates his own points by talking about the things he built and put so much effort into, by making it seem like he only did it as pure favors to other people. Because with Caribou, for example, as Yachty goes on to talk about her being a horrible person, he doesn't really make himself look any better. Because by saying this, he also exposes that he just stayed silent during all of this and still tried to help build Caribou's career.
You know what it's given? It's given that Drake line. I'm way too famous to be doing the things that you accuse me of. That's not a legitimate defense, Drake. Shut up, Curtis. I'm way too famous to be doing a duck pick. I'm way too famous. It's given that. Dog, I'm going to just say thank God for not making me that rich that young. Because I wonder if I would have been this delusional. I wonder if I would have been in a bubble. I wonder if I'd have been only surrounded by people that wouldn't hold me accountable because I'd see them as haters. I wonder if I would just do things in a way in which my environment was so soft around me, so sterile, so nobody says anything negative around here because that's bad vibes. You hear me? Yes, of course, because you're the rich one, Curtis. I thank God it didn't happen like that for me because I have people in my life. I am 39 right now, and I have people in my life that I know if they call me and they say, yo, I got to chop it up, I'm not above that no matter how big my name gets. It doesn't matter. I want that accountability because I want to be better. There's only one stage. I don't care how successful I am, this is only one stage. But when you lack that, you see this kind of behavior. I'm sorry, like, call me biased because I got majority sisters. As I'm the oldest kid. I'm the oldest brother, right? I got majority sisters. I'm not a kid, but I'm the oldest one. I'm my mama's kid. I have a certain way about, I don't care how a woman is acting in public and saying things that are really hateful to you. I have a thing of like, I'm still going to defend you even from yourself. Yeah, you know what? I could say a lot of things. I could say a whole lot of things that's going to make me look like I'm the one telling the truth and you're the one lying. But the truth of the matter is, there's certain ways that I feel, in my opinion of what a man is, you don't do. And you don't need to go to 26,000 people to share your case. It made it worse. Just like the Heart Part 6 made it worse. There's a way that you handle things, especially when it's women in this industry that are going to try to have a career after. And you got to give the grace and opportunity that if this is a younger artist, they're going to figure out that that was a mistake later, especially if you make it a legal matter. But if you engage in this, they just feel justified in acting that way, and then they'll go into another situation, do the same thing, and if they do the same thing, woo, two wrongs don't make a right. Even if you feel like what you're saying is right, this shit is just, I look at this and I'm like, dog, these are a bunch of men with no accountability because niggas is too rich to be told anything.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
And now the general public is seeing it. And this is going to fuck with their money because forget their egos. They can have their egos attacked. They don't care about that shit. When you fuck with their money, then they like, I gotta hide this shit a little bit better.
Because while I'm not necessarily doubting that anything Yachty said was true, it seems like he only cares about the fact that she is a bad person now when she is no longer serving any sort of benefit to him and with Mitch. Yachty again makes his actions, of which he did to help one of his lifelong friends, come off as a bitter and backhanded move. Because by pretty much calling the guy who's supposed to be your best friend on live talentless and telling the world that he was running to you for success, he is making a man who he is supposed to have his back look absolutely pathetic after already being accused of doing this on the podcast clip that started this all in the first place. And this is why, despite Yachty proving with this rant that he is great at branding a very popular podcast and he is truly a rapper who can not just expand his own craft into so many lanes, but also can literally write from the perspective and voice of other artists. Yachty is also exposed that while the people he is around may be bad, he also is too, because from the way he is speaking about this entire situation, which is so backhanded and is pretty much throwing any favor and nice deed he ever did for anybody right back in their face, he is revealing a lot about his true nature. But now with all of this, it's important to recognize that Lil Yachty has been getting increasingly more aggravated every week recently. As from his interview with Andrew Schultz where he talked about fashion and got a lot of heat for his comments there, to this week with Drake where they unfollowed each other for a second but then refollowed each other as the rumor mill started to report on a possible beef brewing between them. It seems like all the bad press and attention Yachty has been getting was building to a meltdown like this, but considering how mad Yachty was in this clip and how destructive the things he said were, especially in the case of his comments toward Mitch, seems like this is only the start in a series of destructive moments from Yachty, because as Drake is expected to release his new song Super Soak soon, which was supposed to feature Lil Yachty, but then Yachty wanted no part in the track because of ethical issues clearing the sample, as it seems like things between Yachty and Drake may not have been on the best note already. It looks like the release of this song could blow things over with them, and as Yachty's rap group is now in flames, his podcast is over, and his most powerful connection in the industry is about to split. We can see that Yachty is speedrunning how to destroy his place in the music industry, and at the rate he is at, I would not be surprised if he takes this controversy much further than here.
You know, that's not for me to even talk about. I think that we all have to crash and burn sometimes to see how close we are to the bottom. Sometimes we gotta, I suggest some ayahuasca, says Reggie125. Isn't it insane the amount of things that was said? And when you really think about how long the battle actually was between Kendrick and Drake, it was over the duration of maybe just a few months, but it feels like it was so much quick. I don't know, what does it feel like? Does it feel like it was so much longer, or does it feel like it was so much shorter? It feels like it was short, right? But it was months that was happening. So many things, opposite of that. It was months, but it felt short. With that said, there were so many things said in that short window of time that are still holding value. There was something that I saw the other day that reminded me not only just of this story, but also of my own journey and really my relationship with the word humble. Because I think all of these gentlemen right now are experiencing humble by force, humility by force. Akademiks, Lil Yachty, and especially Drake, right? He's trying to fight with everything that he has, every resource that he has, every song style that he has. But you cannot fight the lesson that is happening right now for humility. You know what I learned about humility? I used to think that humility was a weakness, right? I used to think that meant that you thought smaller of yourself. And I respect whatever your definition of that is. But somebody said something that really, really resonated with me. And they said, you know, humility is you recognizing what your power is and choosing another thing to do about it, right? I could fuck your shit up right now. But a humble decision would be, you know what, you got it. And it's kind of the response I saw from DJ Head. DJ Head on Twitter said, you got it, bro. To me, only humility would allow you to come to that place. But when you are raging, I call it beige raging, because this nigga Drake is beige. I'm beige too. This nigga Drake is tan. I don't know if you want to, whatever you want to call it. This beige raging that is happening right now, which, by the way, is available at curtisking.bandcamp.com, curtisking.com. Okay, Curtis King and Iman Amari. This beige raging that's happening right now, it seems like these are people who are in their brain very powerful, but they're seeing that the foundation and the pillars are being cracked one by one. But the true definition of humility now for me is this: you cannot be humble. You have not earned the title of humble unless you are familiar with your power. Because what are you humble about? DIYers, those are my thoughts on this crazy beige raging experience. You let me know what you think.
DIY.